What if I told you that the very thing you think makes you creative and interesting is actually sabotaging your entire life? You know what I'm talking about. That romantic attachment to chaos, the drama, the last-minute panic, the messy workspace that you claim helps you think better. We've all been there, convincing ourselves that our dysfunction is somehow genius, that our inability to get organized is just part of our creative process. But here's the brutal truth nobody wants to hear. Chaos isn't your friend. It's not making you more creative. It's not making you more interesting. It's making you exhausted, anxious, and perpetually behind on everything that actually matters. And today, we're going to break down exactly why your brain is addicted to disorder and how to finally escape this self-destructive cycle. I'm going to share the psychological mechanisms that keep you trapped in chaos, the hidden costs you're paying without even realizing it, and most importantly, a step-by-step system to rewire your relationship with structure so you can actually get things done without losing your spark. Let's start with something that might sting a little. That chaos you're so attached to. It's not authentic to who you are. It's a trauma response. When we grow up in unpredictable environments, our nervous systems learn to associate chaos with normalcy. Calm feels foreign, even threatening, because our brains interpret it as the calm before the storm. This creates what psychologists call a chaos addiction. Your brain literally craves drama and disorder because it's what feels familiar. Every time you procrastinate until the last minute, every time you leave your space a disaster zone, every time you juggle 17 half-finished projects, you're getting a hit of adrenaline that temporarily makes you feel alive and engaged. But here's where it gets really insidious. We've romanticized this dysfunction in our culture. We celebrate the tortured artist, the stressed entrepreneur, the person who thrives under pressure. Social media feeds are full of people glamorizing their chaos, posting pictures of cluttered desks with captions about how real productivity looks messy. This cultural narrative gives us permission to stay stuck because we've convinced ourselves that chaos equals creativity, that structure kills spontaneity, that getting organized means becoming boring. But this is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, and it's costing us everything. Let me paint a picture of what chaos addiction actually looks like in real life. You start every Monday with grand plans to get your life together. You make elaborate to-do lists, you reorganize your space, you download new productivity apps. By Wednesday, you're already behind. By Friday, you're in full crisis mode, pulling all-nighters and making frantic phone calls. Sound familiar? This pattern creates what I call the chaos crash cycle. You get addicted to the intensity of crisis mode because it's the only time you feel truly focused and productive. But what you don't realize is that you're only productive in those moments because the consequences of not being productive have become so severe that your survival instincts kick in. This is not sustainable productivity. This is borrowed time from your future self, and the interest rates are astronomical. Every chaos cycle leaves you more depleted, more anxious, and more convinced that you need chaos to function. The hidden costs of chaos addiction go far beyond missed deadlines and cluttered spaces. When you're constantly in crisis mode, your brain never gets a chance to enter the calm, focused states where real creativity and deep thinking happen. You're always in fight or flight mode, which means you're operating from the most primitive parts of your brain. Your relationships suffer because chaos makes you unreliable. Your health suffers because stress becomes your default state. Your self-esteem suffers because you're constantly disappointing yourself and others. And perhaps most tragically, your actual potential remains forever untapped because you're too busy putting out fires to build anything meaningful. But here's what nobody tells you about breaking free from chaos addiction. The solution isn't to become a rigid, color-coded productivity robot. The goal isn't to eliminate all spontaneity and creativity from your life. The goal is to create enough structure and stability that you can actually access your creativity and spontaneity when you choose to, rather than being at the mercy of whatever crisis happens to emerge. Think about the most creative and successful people you admire. I guarantee you that behind their apparent effortlessness is a foundation of solid systems and habits. They've created enough structure in their lives that they have the mental and emotional bandwidth to be truly creative when inspiration strikes. So, how do you actually break free from chaos addiction? The first step is recognizing that your relationship with chaos is not serving you. This might sound obvious, but many people are so deep in the pattern that they can't see it anymore. They've convinced themselves that they work better under pressure, that they need the adrenaline, that structure would somehow diminish them. Start by honestly examining the costs of your current approach. Write down everything that chaos has cost you in the past year. Missed opportunities, damaged relationships, health issues, financial consequences, emotional exhaustion. Make this list as specific and concrete as possible, because your brain needs to understand that the price of chaos is higher than the temporary discomfort of changing. Next, you need to understand that creating structure doesn't happen overnight, and it definitely doesn't happen through willpower alone. Your nervous system needs time to adjust to new patterns, and you need to start small enough that your brain doesn't perceive change as a threat. Begin with what I call microstructures. These are tiny, almost laughably small systems that create pockets of predictability in your day. Maybe it's making your bed every morning, or clearing your desk before you start work, or setting a timer for 15-minute focused work sessions. The specific activity matters less than the consistency. The key is to choose structures that feel supportive rather than restrictive. If a system makes you feel trapped or controlled, your brain will rebel against it. But if a system makes you feel more capable and confident, your brain will start to crave it. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is reframing structure as a tool for creativity rather than a constraint on it. When you have reliable systems handling the mundane aspects of your life, your mental energy is freed up for the things that actually require creativity and innovation. Think about it this way. Musicians don't view scales and music theory as limitations on their creativity. They view them as the foundation that makes complex, beautiful music possible. The same principle applies to life structure. Good systems are like scales for living. They give you a solid foundation from which to improvise and create. As you start implementing microstructures, you'll notice something interesting happening. Tasks that used to require enormous amounts of mental energy suddenly become automatic. Decisions that used to exhaust you become non-decisions. This cognitive load reduction is like giving yourself a mental upgrade. But here's where most people sabotage themselves. As soon as life starts feeling easier and more predictable, the chaos-addicted part of their brain starts getting nervous. It whispers things like, "This is boring," or "You're losing your edge," or "Real artists don't need systems." This is your trauma response, trying to pull you back into familiar dysfunction. Expect this resistance, and don't let it derail you. Remember that boredom is not the enemy of creativity, chaos is. Boredom is actually the fertile ground where new ideas can take root and grow. When your basic life management is handled by good systems, your brain finally has space for the kind of deep, sustained thinking that leads to genuine insights and innovations. Another crucial element of breaking free from chaos addiction is learning to tolerate calm. For people used to constant stimulation and crisis, peaceful moments can actually feel uncomfortable or even scary. Your brain might interpret calm as emptiness or stagnation, but this is just conditioning that needs to be rewired. Practice staying present during calm moments instead of immediately reaching for your phone or creating artificial urgency. Notice the anxiety that comes up when things feel too quiet or too stable, and remind yourself that this discomfort is temporary. Your nervous system is just adjusting to a new baseline. As you build more structure into your life, you'll also need to address the identity component of chaos addiction. if you've built your sense of self around being the person who thrives in crisis, who works well under pressure, who's always juggling multiple emergencies, then getting organized might feel like losing a part of yourself. But here's the truth. That person was never the real you. That was your adaptive response to dysfunction. The real you is the person who emerges when you have enough stability and structure to actually choose how you want to spend your time and energy. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always linear. You'll have days when you slide back into old patterns, when the appeal of chaos feels stronger than your commitment to structure. This is normal and expected. The key is to treat these lapses as data, rather than failures, and to get back on track as quickly as possible. Remember that every small step toward structure is an investment in your future self. Every system you implement, every boundary you maintain, every moment you choose calm over chaos, is building the foundation for the life you actually want to live. The person who breaks free from chaos addiction doesn't become boring or rigid or uncreative. They become someone who has the mental bandwidth to pursue their actual goals, someone who can be present for their relationships, someone who can think deeply and create meaningfully, because they're not constantly putting out fires. So, stop romanticizing chaos. Stop telling yourself that dysfunction is somehow authentic or creative. Start building the structures that will support the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. Your future self is counting on the choices you make today. Like this video for more of the problems of the human mind. And if you want to, you can subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.